Great performance by the Sooner. Good job, continuing to look to score and to kind of push momentum as much as they can towards his teammate Alex Braun, who's up next at 133 pounds as he takes on the truth, Luke Willochell.
Willochell ranked 23rd here with a 13-8 record. Braun 5-5 this year. Willochell does have those 3 pins under his belt, and a pin here could wrap things up here on senior night. Off we go. It is indeed Carter Schmidt that is in there for Oklahoma, not Alex Braun. So Carter Schmidt, with a 5-11 record.
And Willochell in a position we've seen him so many times this year. Gets that takedown. Took a little longer. Schmidt gave him a little bit of an unorthodox defense, trying to stay on his feet to stave off the attack that came from Willochell's slide-by 2-on-1 scoring opportunity that, again, we've seen him do so many times.
You saw him on Friday take on down in North Colorado. He lost to Jonah Evans by major decision, 15-3 in that bout. So
I believe he lost to the returning Big 12 champ, Dominic Serrano, at 133 pounds.
Yep, you're right.
But again, yeah, tough
competitor
match. My goodness, again, Big 12 champ. Willochell, though, the truth that I've been told is his affirmed nickname. The Cowboy fans have let me know that on social media.
But it was a good learning experience for him to take on a conference champion, especially early on here in his career. As he's a freshman. Yes, his brother's part of this program, so he was around it a little bit. But now in his first year on the mat here, having that opportunity to play a conference champion and see the peak of this weight class before you go into the postseason, it should only help him.
Absolutely, and something, Cowboy fans got to be excited about Luke Willochell and his youth, right? You just mentioned it. He's young, but the respect that he's earned across the country in some of these, bigger tournaments like Cliff Keen and other, bigger matches that he's found himself in is the respect that he gets with people not wanting to go underneath him. They're not choosing down because they don't think they can get away from the freshman. Right, they're choosing neutral on him. He's very dangerous everywhere he goes. He's taken down returning national champs earlier in the year. I don't find that the freshman is intimidated by any of these guys who have been a little bit more accomplished than him so far in their careers.
On the flip side, Carter Schmidt lost to Cade Moore by decision 4-0 on Friday. The Sooners saw the Missouri Tigers. Schmidt picks up his first point here on the escape. See the riding time already in favor of the truth.
Easy mistake to make.
Yeah, we'll see the Wild Man potentially to close things out here in this one at 149.
Right, and they both are wild, right? They both are very entertaining in how they operate. Again, correct. Schmidt's been right in Luke Willochell's face, hand-fighting tough. It looks like they share the same mold as the body styles, are so similar in this one. Schmidt in on the attack. Willochell, though, is the one who's able to come out on top. Looks like knee tap drag, hits the corner, and able to come out with another takedown. Improves his score 6-1. Close out the first, accumulating 1:45.6 seconds of riding time. Again, great shot by Schmidt. Luke Willochell chases the corner, goes knee tap, gets Schmidt off of his base and is able to get that corner to come away on top.
By the end of this season, the Truth's going to have so many highlight reel takedowns to add to that
Absolutely.
End of year melt with all those highlights on it.
Absolutely. He's certainly been very entertaining in his debut season for the Cowboys. got to be a fan favorite with gosh, with stuff like this. He looks like he's just always looking to score. He's putting himself in entertaining positions and just works very hard. And I can understand
very offensive minded, never thinking about. I don't want to say never, but rarely thinks about the repercussions for trying something that most wrestlers wouldn't try in there. He's throwing caution to the wind most of the time, and that makes him entertaining.
Right, absolutely. It is a little dangerous, right? We've seen him and his brother both get into some funky positions, but it's worked out for him more than it's hurt him. And they're comfortable in those situations, which, again, word of caution to those who haven't, felt a lot of experience in some of the positions that the Willochells are putting themselves in. They're comfortable there, okay? They know what they're doing. If you want to risk that, if I'm a younger wrestler watching this and my coach is talking to me, I'm hoping that he's telling me, hey, yeah, let's play around with that in the practice room until you feel comfortable there, because you're putting yourself in danger, Like, gosh, their mom must have a heart attack every time they wrestle.
He looked out into the crowd, looked like he was getting some coaching from the fans here at UWI. 10 seconds left in the second. And a 6-1, really 7-1 advantage when you consider the riding time, which will not be touched. And we'll head to the third.
It's looking like to start the match off earlier. Schmidt and Willochell kind of, banging heads there for a little bit, and then Willowshell's just taken over the match, especially with that last period, riding out his opponent for the whole entirety of it, and is now in a position, earned his escape, goes up 7-1, essentially 8-1 with that riding time point that is almost locked up.
And a takedown here could put him in bonus point victory or bonus point territory.
Schmidt,
he's craving that.
Absolutely. I don't know if they're craving necessarily bonus points or just points altogether, but that's something that, a lot of the Cowboys over the past few duels have looked like they focus on is just continuing to look to score. It's something that I know for a fact Coach Branch coaches, having heard it a million times myself, and sometimes it takes a million times for it to sink in. These Cowboys have seemed to have picked up on that coaching point and have implemented it into their competition.
Willochell about just over a minute away from locking this duel up. If he's able to hold on right now with just 2 bouts remaining.
1 minute, under a minute left in the third period. Willochell in the driver's seat in this one. He's got Schmidt on the edge, working the perimeter. Schmidt tries the center. Willochell not really letting him do it. Has a message for the ref about some pushing. Stays focused, though. Schmidt's really got to open up here. Look to Willochell to capitalize off of the I don't want to say desperate, but more more urgency that has to come from Schmidt if he wants to give himself a chance to win.
Not only a chance, but his team a chance here in this duel. He's 10 seconds away from conceding defeat in the bout and in the duel. Willochell won't give him a chance. Couple dangerous strikes there that the official won't let go.
Little talking to before, got 4 seconds left. Willochell, like last time at home, plays a smart game, pumps up the crowd, and puts the ref in between each other, between himself and his opponent.